Hi, we're back. Money TV. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Don Baillargeon, joined in studio now by Tom Djokovic. He's the CEO of XSNX Incorporated. XSNX is a stock symbol. Tom, good to see you again.
Great to be back.
Now, we had you on the phone last week real quick. We originally planned to have you here in the studio. You got busy and so on and so forth. But we basically saw the company taking a new direction. Why don't you kind of tell us about that again?
Well, Don, what we did was we announced earlier this week that we had developed a new idea, something we've been noodling around for a number of months, and then finally validated and actually started the R&D program on after we entered into some agreements with some partners. And what we're doing is we're combining some cross-industry technologies. We're taking high-rate processing technologies, manufacturing technologies from the hard disk drive industry. And I think most people admit that really few industries have done as well a job at reducing costs, improving quality of a manufacturing system and a product, as well as the hard disk drive industry does. And we're combining those technologies, manufacturing technologies, with proven processes for manufacturing thin films, specifically thin films made out of what's called CIGS. It's one of the most promising thin film technologies out there for solar.
And so basically, this new direction, I guess to put it into a nutshell from the benefit of the company, it's going to allow you to start creating revenues while reducing your need for capital at the same time.
Well, yeah, what we've done is we had been building a thin film amorphous manufacturing facility. It was very capital intensive. As you know, the capital markets crumbled. It became very difficult to find continued financing to finish that facility. And at the same time, we were continuously always approached by third parties, sometimes companies of equal size, larger size quite often, multinational billion-dollar revenue companies looking to also expand into the solar space. And we'd always kind of put it off a little bit. Now we stepped back and we said, hey, given the current situation, given so much international support at the government level in different regions for solar and renewables, there is actually an increase in consideration. A lot of companies are saying, well, look, we're seeing opportunities in the hard disk drive industry starting to go away because of evolving technologies in flash memory and other kinds of memory devices. In the semiconductor industry, circuit board makers, you name it. A lot of different industries are looking for ways to diversify, use existing infrastructure, knowledge, sales channels, support channels, things like that, and just bring in a new kind of technology. And this kind of manufacturing technology doesn't require a lot of space. We believe it's going to revolutionize solar by essentially combining the high efficiencies of silicon wafers with the low-cost manufacturing processes of thin film, and really deliver for the first time something that's economically viable to install. It's cheap. It's going to have a lot of government support, and it's a viable opportunity for these companies to diversify and set up manufacturing infrastructure. So through joint ventures, we plan on deploying the technology. That's how we will make our revenue through licensing fees, manufacturing royalties, and continued support and partnership with these companies.
Now, you brought a couple of samples with you. I'm going to ask you to pull the Vanna White thing, kind of hold it right over here, over your chest, and show it to the camera and tell our audience what we're looking at.
Well, this is the size of the wafer that we're starting with. It's a stainless steel wafer, and we call it a wafer because it's essentially, that's what silicon wafers are called. And what we do here is we begin by developing various processes on here. We're actually transferring proven solar processes to these hard disk drive manufacturing systems. What we're doing here is making what's called a back contact. On the other side, there'll then be eventually a front contact and the various different layers, 8 in total, counting the stainless steel, are what's necessary to make a thin film CIGS solar cell. And what these systems will do initially is make what's called pseudo squares, about 5-inch squares, where there'll be square, slight angle corner, square, slight angle corner, and they'll have to be interconnected into solar modules. But because of their size, these are like solar building blocks. Unlike other thin films that use large pieces of glass, fixed size frames, we can interconnect these into any size solar module, into consumer products, into roofing materials, glass facades of buildings. They literally can be designed into a multitude of different kinds of applications, way past just solar panels. They're like a solar building block. That's what we're calling it.
That's amazing. Now, in going back to something you brought up just a couple of minutes ago, with the administration's throwing their entire support into alternative energy, and they've really mentioned solar a lot. You must think, I mean, you were one of the pioneers, I guess, because you've been talking about solar for several years, while a lot of people are just now jumping on the bandwagon. You must really feel like your time has come.
Well, we'd like to think it is, and I'd like to clarify that just a little bit, add a little bit more clarity to the audience, and that is a lot of the companies are out there right now that are, let's say, perceived to be successful in producing product, companies like First Solar, energy conversion devices. Many of these companies go back a number of years and through multiple entities. They bought and sold, restarted, you name it. Many of them having in excess of $100 million or more into just R&D phases. They're the benefactors of where we are right now by having started so early. We ourselves too. I mean, we started a number of years ago back in early 2004, and you know, we've been through a couple iterations trying different things, but that's what you do. You know, it's an evolving industry. Technologies change, business models change. Right now we think that this here is really a tremendous opportunity for us and something no one else is doing.
You know, and what you say is so accurate, because you go back 100 years when the automotive industry was just getting off the ground. There were 200 companies in the U.S. making automobiles, and that, you know, came to a select few, as it were. 10 years ago in the internet industry, there were a gazillion internet companies, and that's, you know, come down to the ones that are the most successful. So that kind of consolidation is only natural in any kind of industry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But what the solar industry needs right now, Don, is manufacturing technology. What's happening right now in the laboratories is obviously better results than we had 5-10 years ago. They're obviously making improvements, but they're not quantum improvements over what was already occurring in the laboratories 5 or 10 years ago, okay? What the solar industry has been really poor at doing is transferring laboratory results to the commercial product. There's massive degradation of the quality and performance of the products, of the solar cells. The hard disk drive industry, complete opposite. Improvements, lowering of costs, improved manufacturing processes. Their processing systems, it takes less than a second to move each one of these wafers from one process to the next process.
Wow.
In the solar industry, it's not counted in seconds, it's counted in minutes, and sometimes in hours, and how fast it takes to move substrates through systems. So we think this is a key opportunity to leverage hard disk drive manufacturing infrastructure, super technologies, and essentially, like I said, combine the performance of silicon wafers with the low cost of thin films and potentially revolutionize the solar industry.
Now, we're almost out of time, but I did want to have a chance to talk about your new website the company's put up. People can get a lot of information about what you're doing. It's XSNX.com. Tell us about the website.
Well, the website gives anyone who's interested a lot of information about what we're doing, specifically the direction, why we chose CIGS, why we think that's going to mate up so well with the hard disk drive manufacturing technologies, how other people have approached this problem, where the problems, you know, what challenges they have encountered. And realistically, I think fundamentally what's going to tell people is, hey, look, what we're telling you here is that we're taking proven process from the laboratory and we're introducing as few variables as possible. We're dealing at the atomic level here. So statistically, when you introduce the fewest amount of variables, you're going to have the statistically fewest amount of deficiencies. We're going to maintain efficiencies and make up and just simply come up with a way to make boatloads of these cells. And that's really what the website's going to show people.
Once again, XSNX, the stock symbol is XSNX. Their new website is xsnx.com. Visit it, get a lot of information. Tom, fascinating. Thanks for the update.
Thank you very much, Don. Bye.
Science, technology, even natural, holistic, and spiritual methods. These are what people are looking for to keep healthy and stay and living longer. We talk about all of those things on Health This Week. Go to healththisweek.com for more information or a TV station near you. On the Money Wrap radio program this week, we're going to talk about czars. We got 31 czars working in the Obama administration, 27 of which did not work there before the Obama administration. For more information or radio station, go to moneywrap.com. Call us right now, 888-259-4449 for free information and mail about our featured guests, including Seamless Corporation and XNX. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. It is free. Again, 888-259-4449, or visit us at moneytv.net. That's our program for this week. Thanks so much for joining us once again. As always, we'll see you next week.